3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Briones Pickleball Podcast, everybody. I believe this is episode 95, 96. I don't know. You'll see it there. But super excited to have a special guest today. We're going to be talking a lot about what's going on currently with the PPA, but also we're going to be giving you some tips for players just like you listening to this. So you're going to want to stay tuned. And my guest is Elliott Shupp.
Thanks for having me on, Jordan.
Yeah, dude. What's up, man?
Not much. Just got back from an APP tournament. Feeling good.
Yeah, man.
Ready to dive into it, man.
Yeah, so Elliott, I know if you don't know him, he we'll get into some of the content that he's made that's gone pretty or pickleball viral, we'll call it. But he just actually moved here to Arizona, and yeah, he's going to be working on some things with us, so that's really cool. He plays on the APP tour, or you know what? Why don't you give a little introduction?
Yeah.
Take it away, dude.
Well, yeah. So I'm playing on the APP tour right now. Been grinding the next gen circuits and the all the pro events for a while. Coming from Arkansas, most of my training came from a fridge. Funny enough, is basically just wall drills, and then a ball machine. So. Yeah, that's what I'm coming from. Honestly, I think it's an elite training routine. Okay. It's highly underrated, especially wall drills. Yep. And dude, it's been good to be an AZ though.
Okay. Nice, yeah, we'll get back to that. But you know what? Since we're here, let's pull it up here. If you guys are just listening to this audibly, sorry you can't see. We'll explain what's going on. But we have a few. I'll just show this video here of Elliott. Just drilling on the fridge here. Okay. Oh, okay. A little finger wagger. Okay. Switching it up. So this is. Did you put you have one of those GoPros or something, Elliott?
Yeah. This was a GoPro, and this video took me forever to film it because it kept on falling off.
Oh.
So I had to keep my head so still, otherwise it would just fall to the floor. So that's
yeah. So for those of you listening, obviously if you're watching this is a freezer fridge combo here, sponsored by Frigidaire. And Elliott's using that. We were just talking about how he trains his hands, and how he was just talking about how it's undervalued kind of training, wall drills, specifically refrigerator. Do you want to expand on that, Elliott?
Yes, 100%. I personally think that wall drills are the most underrated drill in all of pickleball. You'll see a lot of people do wall drills, but it's more cooperative, right? Where it's more working on technique, right? You're going back and forth. You're doing just a bunch of backhands, a bunch of forehands, and you're trying to get your technique down. You're working on your shots. Yeah, it's good. Whenever I was trying to work on my hand speed, because I used to have really bad hands. That was the worst part of my game.
Really?
Yes.
When was this?
Oh, this was probably, I want to say this was 3 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
And I wanted to find a way to work on it because I was hand speed is so important, right? Yep. And I didn't have a ton of I had some people I could drill with, but it wasn't very often. And I was trying to find ways where I could work on hand speed because I would watch the top pros, and I'm dude, these guys are getting everything back. Their counters, they're on everything, right?
Yeah.
So I was how can I train that here? And then I saw a video on Christian Alshon, and he was drilling on a wall. And I was oh, is that what they're doing? If that's the case, I can do that. Let me find a wall. So I started off with a brick wall.
Wow.
I do not suggest a brick wall at all.
Well, it's good in a way. It has those uneven surfaces, so it kind of reacts or whatever.
Yeah, and it's good. I'd say the two downsides is it comes back a lot slower than a normal concrete wall you'll find, right? Yeah. And the other downside is if you get a good rally going and you're really getting into it, it'll just hit a crack and it'll just shoot straight down, and it's just it's hard to get in a good rhythm.
Yeah.
So I started on that for a while.
Okay.
And then my hands actually got worse with the brick wall.
Really?
Yeah, they got.
How so? Or what do you mean?
I was just I wasn't prepared. I wasn't what's the word? I was so used to getting a pattern with the wall, right? You're going back and forth. It's predictable unless it hits like a crack and shoots down. So I was like, all right, I'm getting used to that. I was good at switching back and forth. But whenever someone's speeding it up, instead of knowing where it was going to go, I'm like helpless. I was like, oh, wait, I don't know where they're going to hit this. And then I would just not be on anything. So I was like, okay, this is not going to work. So I stopped doing wall drills for a while.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll just, every time I drill, I'll work on hands, and just do like straight up with the person.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, wait a second, what if I just try to hit it a little faster? Because like maybe I'm not trying to train reactions, because originally I was trying to train reaction time. I was like, what if I just train just like hand speed itself?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll just hit a little harder and then see how that goes.
Yeah.
Tried it, and then the brick wall was unusable because it would hit a crack like almost every second ball.
Yeah.
And so you just can't do much with it. So like, all right, got to switch it up. I started looking for walls like around our town. There's like
around the town.
Yeah, like the green walls in those tennis courts with like the line on it.
Yes. Yeah.
I used that for a bit. And it was actually really good. I got faster and I was improving, but it still was just dying. Like I would hit it off the wall and then it would die right off of it. And so eventually I found this little guy.
Yeah,
I found the fridge. And let me tell you, this is probably the best discovery of my entire pickleball career.
Wow. Okay.
Because the main thing is it bounces back almost at the same pace you hit at it. So what that means that you can really, you can do a lot of quick twitch movements. Yeah. And just really work on speed with it. Whereas before, you hit hard and then it dies. So you're constantly reaching out.
Yeah.
You can't be like sitting on stuff, right?
Yeah. And I think, we're playing some clips here, but yeah, wall drills. Obviously, we have some wall drills on the channel that we've done, but also along with that, I think that hand speed, recognizing patterns, I think it helps a lot. And the reaching thing, I didn't think about that, so that's good. So one of the things that I think people do wrong when they're training hands on the wall is they're standing way too far from the wall. I've seen that a lot. So if you're practicing, you got a little dink wall going in your garage, or you have something online, get closer so that the ball responds faster, and so it's a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's the main goal of like progression. I feel like is the closer you get to the wall, that means you're improving. Yeah. And I'd say another like a key factor, like a key point in that you may not have thought about too, is I try to bag myself every time. Like I'm not trying to get a long rally, because if I'm lasting a long time, that means I'm not challenging myself. Yeah. And I'm not trying to improve. So I feel like the main like improvement comes whenever you're hitting it so hard that you almost can't react. In a way. Like I've been bagged so many times by that fridge, like it's not even funny. Okay. But like you get faster, because then eventually like, dang, this hurts. I gotta just do it, right? And then eventually you'll catch up, and then you'll make that progress. Yeah. But yeah, I think progression, like with just getting closer and closer, that's what's gonna improve.
Wow, that's good.
A lot. Yeah.
And you guys will. We have some exciting content coming out. Elliott, he's played in some games of ours, and we'll release that on our real pickleball channel. You guys will see that. But no, Elliott's a great addition for our we'll call it Pro Arizona team. And his hands definitely, you can tell, you've been working on it a lot, dude. So that's good.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
That's good. Yeah. So Elliott, it's super great to have him. You just played APP. Where was it at again?
I was in Fort Lauderdale. It was at the fort.
So Fort Lauderdale, and you made it through maybe first couple rounds, and then you ran into. You want to talk about that experience against Jack Monroe and Will Howells? Just like going forward, or anything you learned from that match.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest difference between a top team like Jack and Will, right, versus a lot of other guys, is they are so consistent. Like there's like a lot of cases where you may have some of the same shots, but they just make a ton more, and there's almost more pressure that comes with it, because then you're almost at a point where you're like, oh man, they're not missing balls. I have to do something to force the issue, and then you start making more errors. And I think that's how those teams do so well, is because they have a good game plan, and they adjust really quickly, and they can execute that game plan like so consistently.
Yeah.
So I'd say that was an eye opener, because I know like some learnings from that match is I think I need to learn how to adjust a lot quicker in game 2, because they did a good job of, if we threw a new strategy at them, they would see it for a few points and they would counter it like without even a timeout.
Wow.
Like while playing, right?
Yeah.
And that would force us to then try to figure out how to counter whatever their counter was, right? And so then the whole match is just like a mental battle, because not only now do you have to execute, but you also have to find that winning strategy, which changes throughout the entire match.
Yeah.
So I'd say that was probably the most important one.
That's good.
And then another one too is taking balls out of the air.
Yeah.
Because they, a lot of their dinks, right? There's a lot of pressure. They go deep and they try to push you off. So if you're not taking balls out of the air, you're just gonna get almost bullied at the kitchen line, because they're dictating, right? They're pushing you off the line. They can move you wherever they want. They can get you off balance. So I think if you take balls out of the air, it gives you, at least you can stay up at the line, right? And then you can try to move them around.
Yeah.
But they just do a really good job of executing.
Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, I'd love to get more into that. But that's Elliott's been playing on the APP for a while now, and we'll be following him. He'll be more and more involved, so you'll probably be seeing him more. So it'll be great. I just want to, I forgot to mention this. This podcast, or this broadcast, is brought to you, or powered by Yola. So, Elliott, I've been, with Yola, man, it seemed like a lot longer, but a few months, maybe only a few months now. Super enjoying not being part of the team, not just being part of the team, but specifically their paddles. I gave you some paddles to try.
Yes, yeah.
Not too long ago, and you tried the Perseus 16, which is the one I prefer. And I tried. I think I gave you some others, but you really liked the Agassi. It's kind of this shape here on the table here, and you like in the 14, and you actually played with it at APP.
I did. Yes.
So I don't know, just thoughts about that, and you've been experimenting with different paddles and stuff. So I don't know, just get your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's a really solid paddle. It's got a I think the main thing that stood out to me is a lot of paddles that kind of have this curve shape at the end. A lot of them have like inconsistent sweet spots. And I think this paddle has a solid sweet spot all around. Like, it's a very consistent paddle, and it's very, very snappy. I don't know. It flies to the air really well. Like, at least like on volleys and swings. It's got a good swing weight. It's well balanced. Yeah. It was super solid. I mean, it didn't take me that long to adjust to it.
Yeah. Because you were only like playing it for like a week or something, right?
I was only playing with it for like a week, and then use it at Fort Lauderdale. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was super solid.
Did you add any weight on yours, or?
No.
Okay.
All my paddles, 0 lead tape. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just going to be straight out the box.
Yeah, you know how I've experimented through the years. Definitely, I've went from no weight to mid-weight to really heavy, and then to light, and then weight again. Now I've gotten to the point where I'm just like 0 again. If I feel like I can control it, and it has great sweet spot, great. I use the 16 millimeter Perseus. If I think I have enough power, the hand speed is really important. So I would like it as light as possible, but I know others might think differently. So
and I think part of that too is 'cause I think paddles now, like, they generate a lot of power on their own, so you almost don't need that lead tape in some instances to generate that power. And so the trade-off for the hand speed, I think, is just really important.
Yeah. That's good, man. Cool. All right, so let's hop right in. And in this next section here, we're gonna kind of talk about some things that may help you with your game. That's one of the things that we like to talk about on the pod. And then we're also gonna go through some PPA stuff. There's actually a live match going on right now in the PPA. We'll talk about some of the things happening. But this next, usually Caden's here.
I love that.
He's not, but pickleball tip of the week. Oh, there it is. But Elliott, I wanted to ask you, you've been playing. So I know your background's in baseball, and you've been playing for how many years now?
I got introduced about 5 years ago. I've been playing like competitively for about 3.
Okay, so 3 years. One of the things that I asked you in the very beginning is, what are 2 things that you see with most players that if they adjusted this or this, or if they worked on this one thing, it would really help their game? So what are those 2 and why?
I'd say the most important one, and the one I see in pretty much everybody I coach, is footwork. Because you could have the best technique in the world, the ball's in front of you, but it does not matter if you can't get that ball right. If you're always reaching or lunging and you're always in awkward spots, it doesn't matter how good your technique is.
Man, it's almost like I prepped you for this. Huh? We did not even talk about this because interesting. Okay, go ahead.
I'd say then number 2 is just using too much wrist. Like a lot of the people I coach, like, they'll have like, when you use wrist, you're gonna have a couple shots that are just amazing, and it's almost like hitting like a perfect shot in golf. Like, man, I need that feeling again and again.
Yeah.
But it's just so inconsistent. Like, it's hard to be consistent when your wrist is just constantly moving.
Interesting.
And so I'd say a big thing is just locking the wrist and just getting really repeatable strokes.
Got it. Really good. Really good. Okay, so number 1, you heard it here, folks. Actually, you've heard it multiple times, but at our academy, Elliott, which you've been to, our first pillar, like what we talk about, is footwork and movement. And that's big. So we talk about that a lot. I think a lot of players know that, but I think A, they don't know how to work on it, and B, they don't know actually what they're doing like incorrectly. I think a lot of the times we have some videos on that. You guys can check out our channel, but that's why a lot of people come and train with us too, because they don't know really what they're doing. So two tips though on that, and we'll get to your second one, and maybe I get your reflections on this, Elliott. But 2 things on the footwork, 2 things you're trying to accomplish as you're thinking about, okay, I've heard footwork is good, but what does that actually mean? Number 1 is spacing. Okay, like you have to have the right adequate amount of space to hit the ball, not only for power, but for accuracy and comfortability. Like when I'm hitting a ball like really like 3 inches from my body, and I'm hitting a ball let's say 12 inches from my body, your stroke's gonna look different, and you're gonna have to like compensate with something. So again, the spacing, whether it's getting closer to the ball or moving away from the ball, that's why it's really important. Just any thoughts on that, Elliott?
Yeah, no, I mean, spacing is huge. I mean, especially with pickleball, right? Like, there is margin for error, but at the same time there isn't, right? Like, if you're going to hit a ball here versus here, that's a vastly different result, right? Like, if you're hitting it here, it's in the net. Here could be perfect. Mm-hmm. But, like, with that, if that varies every time, and you're having just small adjustments, and it's because you're not getting there with your footwork. Yeah. I mean, that's going to just be a massive difference. Yeah. Like, it's just not going to be consistent.
Yeah. Okay.
You need that same contact point every time.
Yep. So yeah, that spacing is one, and then that second one I was going to talk about is that contact. As we move our feet, we can actually get our contact in a zone that is very comfortable. You know what? You and Caden, actually, coming from baseball, I definitely do not know a lot about baseball, like strategy and technique and everything. But one thing I do know is there's a strike zone, right? Yeah. So the pitcher has to pitch it out there. Now I know that there's a variability of where spin and stuff it could come in, but it has to land in there, and that's where a batter can actually hit the ball. So like I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, obviously in baseball, you're not creating space, but there is a sense of like it has to be in this zone because that's where players hit it. I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, and it definitely makes sense because especially like if the ball's wide.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to hit that ball.
Okay. Yeah.
And try.
You won't even reach it.
Yeah, you can't even reach that, right? Now, again, you can't have footwork in the batter's box.
Yes.
But at least you can still adjust where the ball's being hit and then change your swing accordingly. But yeah, no. I mean, if it's above your head, there's no way you're reaching.
Okay.
It's just impossible.
Yeah. So contact point is everything. That's why moving our feet is really important. The second thing you said is wrist, like we'll call it overuse or unnecessary use of wrist. You see a lot of players do that, and that causes inconsistency, and that's a big one. That's a big one. Our wrist, it's a small kind of muscle, when we talk, especially when we talk about dinks and soft shots, resets, things like that, even counters, there are shots in this game as this game has evolved that we do use our wrist a lot, like flicks and things like that. But when we're talking about really controlled shots, really shots that we have to hit with a lot of precision, and we got to land it in a certain spot or else it's going to get attacked. The wrist is not the primary vehicle of what you want to be using.
Yes.
But no, that was good, dude. That was good. Okay, so hopefully that helped, and you guys could think about that. But the next thing I want to get into, Elliott, and this is not really a tip, but it kind of goes along with that. But what are two things, like taken away from the tournament that you just played, or just in general? What are the two things that you're going to be working on in the next week or so? And before you answer, the reason why I asked this is there's a lot of players that might be watching this podcast or listening to it, even players that we work with at our intensives, and it could definitely get frustrating at times, or it could definitely get, and maybe you can speak to this, but it could get, maybe you feel like you're not getting better at times. Maybe, like you have a lot of negative thought, like, oh man, I'm not getting better or whatever. But I want you to, at least as encouragement out there, even the pros, like the players I work with and also players I talk to all the time, they're always working on stuff. They're always working on stuff, and hopefully that goes to show you that it's not just whatever level you're at, you take one thing at a time. That's my recommendation. And you really hone that in. But Elliott, what are your two things that you're working on?
Yeah. I think the takeaways from that match specifically, going back to what I said a little bit earlier, was taking balls out of the air. I think it's so important, just because what it prevents. It prevents you getting pushed off the line, so you're not going to be pushed around or off balance as much, which means goes into footwork, right?
Yep.
You'll be in a much better position to hit the next ball.
Yep.
And then it's also very offensive.
Yeah.
So you can take that ball and you can either A, flick it, or you could speed it up out of the air, or you could be rolling it, hitting angles, or pushing them off instead.
Yeah.
So it's almost taking a shot that was offensive for them, and you're almost reversing it in a way where now it's offensive for you.
I like that.
So I think that's going to be a big one for sure, is working on taking balls out of the air. And then also that's the main one, but I'd say serves and returns. Two most underrated shots in all of pickleball.
Definitely. You said maybe wall drills might be the most underrated drill or exercise you can do. I do think practicing serve and returns are the most under-practiced skill.
100%. Well, because
I think actually returns more than serves. I would, if I had to practice one, serves are really important, but actually returns I think are even more important. But go ahead, Elliott.
Yeah, I think return is the most important shot in all of pickleball, and I think besides hand speed, right, and counters. But the reason is because if you miss a return, that's a point, right?
Yeah.
They get a whole point, and they didn't have to work for it. If you miss a serve, though, you don't lose a point. It's just a side out, or it's second serve. Yeah. I think with that, having a strong serve and return, you see it more in singles than doubles.
Yeah.
Because if your first and second shot aren't strong, you're just gonna get passed.
Yeah.
Right. Let's say if you have a weak serve and someone's got a strong return, and they're just moving you across the court and you can't hit a good third, you're not going to be able to win many points.
Yeah.
Same, vice versa. If you don't have a good return and you're playing like a Chris Hayworth, dude, you're not gonna see a ball. You're gonna get passed every time.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's just so important. It sets up the whole rally. Like it sets the tone.
Yeah.
And it either gives you an advantage or a disadvantage from the very beginning. So I think having a really strong serve and return is super important. And also, whenever we get tight, I feel like one of the first things that pops up is our thirds, right?
Yes.
At least for me, right? Whenever you get tight, I feel like thirds are the easiest ones to pop up. So if you have a strong return, chances are your opponents are going to be tight, right? Especially if it's a tournament.
Yeah.
So if you have a strong return, you're almost forcing the issue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're almost you're forcing them to hit a really good shot under pressure, which could just set up a lot of really good points.
Yeah. No, it's really good thoughts. Really great. Yep. Serve and returns, folks. Couldn't agree more. If you've never been out to the court and practiced serving and returning, you're definitely leaving some good reps on the table. So you definitely want to get out there. Yeah, we should do that at least once a week, man. Yeah, work just on that for like I've done that even for like a full like 30 minutes, and that seems like a long time when you're not usually practicing serving returns, but man, you just get dialed in, and just the confidence on how far you can push like the ball consistently is like super important. So
yes,
but just quick intermission here. You were talking about taking balls out of the air, Elliott, to be more aggressive. We have a free resource here for you guys.
Ooh.
Just check it out. Maybe Elliott is gonna have to check it out, because I think we take to talk about volley things. No, but go to attackmasterclass.com, and we actually talk about some really good things on how to attack up at the kitchen line. Free resource for you. Go check it out. So Elliott, you just moved here to Arizona from Arkansas, and I know a lot of people don't know where that is. Okay, but it is in the United States.
Yeah, can confirm.
Yeah, Elliott can confirm. I can't. But were you born and raised there?
Yes.
Okay, so man, I haven't been there. I've one of my best friends is actually from there. So I know there's some beautiful areas, and I know that it could be a really cool state for certain things, but one of the things it's not great for is pro pickleball. And that's not throwing shade. I mean, I'm gonna let Elliott confirm this.
Yeah.
But is that true?
I'm gonna say yes and no. Yes, because there's not a ton, right? There's not a ton of players. But no, as in we do have some good players. Okay. Some OGs. It's just, life happens. It's hard to drill every day whenever you got families and things like that. But I'd say Arizona's definitely definitely a little better. It's nice being able to drill whenever you want to, right? And being able to get games and really hone in on stuff.
Yeah.
Because before I'd be able to drill maybe about once a week, which, it's not bad. But if you're trying to go pro and you're really trying to, or just improve in general, right?
Yeah.
You want to see a lot of touches. Yep. Otherwise, you can't get that muscle memory built.
Yep.
It's like the big thing now. I think the biggest difference that Arizona's going to make is I can take these takeaways from tournaments and actually hone in on them for a whole week, right? Maybe this whole week, it's just a ton of out of the air dinks, and things like that, and serves and returns, and you just get a ton of reps, and just really get them dialed.
Yeah, man, it's really good. So yeah, super excited to have Elliott kind of just on board and here in Arizona. We'll see where it takes you, dude. But it's we'll be following him. It'll be super awesome. You'll probably see him on the channel, maybe on another podcast soon. But we're gonna hop right into just kind of covering PPA PPA Virginia Beach. Just want to, we haven't done an update. Comment below if you kind of like us following some of the things in the pro world. Obviously there's other whole bunch of other podcasts that cover it. We want to focus on more on your improvement, but we like covering things from time to time. But yeah, let's just get some thoughts from you, Elliott. Obviously, we have women's doubles, and we have Anna Bright, Anna Lee. So I think they lost the last two times, I know that they lost the last one.
Yes,
but they were struggling for a bit. But they pulled it out here against Georgia and Rachel. And you were talking about new partnership there. Huh?
Yeah. I was surprised that Georgia is switching it up and playing with Rachel now instead of Tyra. Especially, I think since I may be wrong, but weren't they the team that beat Anna Lee and Anna Bright twice?
Yeah, I think I got to go back. I think at least one of the times. But you know what? So interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But it looks like in this particular instance, they took it pretty easily.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the match. But shout out to Jade, Kawamoto, and Catherine for bronze. So that's a good one. Oh, I guess, Paris Todd was playing with... that's a withdraw.
Oh, I didn't even notice
okay,
that.
So Paris Todd, Tyra Black withdrew with fourth. But okay, let's go to let's just hop right in. We're gonna see it live, everybody. We're gonna go to men's. Hold on, let me refresh. I might need to refresh this page here.
Could be over by now.
Yeah. Men's doubles, Virginia Beach PPA. We're just going to the finals. When we were prepping for this pod. Oh, delayed.
Oh, no.
Okay, so at the time of this podcast, everyone, we have Ben and Gabe Tardio against CJ and JW. We got Gabe and Ben 11-3, 12-10 in the second, and then 5-6 down in the third, delayed. That's got to be rain, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 100%. I think they were delayed earlier the week as well. So I think it's just raining all over.
Yeah, dude. And then you have all these cancellations. Shout out to Christian and Andre, and then Jay DeLivier and Matt Wright. Their match got canceled, so that's interesting. But
solid run by those guys.
Yeah. So mixed doubles here. Again, we have Ben and Anna Lee. No surprise there. Against JW and Georgia. I got to start watching more mixed. I would like to see how the game's changing, but Ben and Anna Lee have really just been kind of rattling everything off. Any thoughts about the Johnsons or anything, Elliott?
Man, I think since Ben and Anna Lee have played him so many times, I think they just have the strategy figured out, honestly, because JW and Georgia, I feel like they had more success earlier on, right, when they weren't playing them as much. I think now that they've got so many matches, like Ben is so good at just finding strategies, like him and Colin both. Like they're very smart players, and I think over time, the more data you give them, I think they're just gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Now going to women's singles, we have Brooke Buckner and Anna Lee Waters is scheduled. That might be a delayed too, so we'll have to see. Maybe after this pod, you guys will know who won it there, but shout out to them. Brooke Buckner, that's a good final for her to make. Men's singles, big ups. I would say upset here. But Chris Hayworth, the APP legend, takes down Christian Alshon 11-8 and then 12-10 in the second game. So thoughts on that, Elliott?
I was not expecting this. Yeah, I thought it would go to 3, honestly. But I think Chris is just he's on a roll right now. Yeah. I feel like everything's like clicking, everything's working for him. I think he's adjusted really well to just the different conditions. Yeah. Especially with like the ball, because now he's using the Lifetime instead of a Franklin.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot more used to that now. But I mean, he's hitting a stride. I mean,
yeah, man. Tough loss for Christian there, but shout out to Chris Hayworth. The next thing I kind of want to go into, for those of you, I know that those of you who follow a lot of other things, PPA Asia, and I really wanted to, make a separate podcast for this, but there was just a lot going on. Oh, I could share a little bit about that, but there's just a lot going on, and Yeah, the Asia team. I don't know if you even know this, Elliott, but we train the Trailblazers, right? We had these players from Asia. I'm gonna show just
Nice.
a quick picture here. They came into town this summer, and this is kind of memory lane. It seems like it's been a long time ago, but this was this past summer, Elliott, and these are some of the top players in Asia, and they're all playing PPA Asia. And Caden and I and Greg Dow, you can see Greg over here. That's Greg Dow. We all worked with them, and it was just amazing experience. And some of these players here are still at the top of the game in Asia, so it was just really cool.
Awesome.
But besides that, I do want to say, like, Asia's growing, man. It's growing. It's crazy. Yeah. Shout out to Zane Navratil. If you can, he talked a lot about it on his podcast and his individual kind of YouTube channel. So shout out to you, Zane. But he was talking about how it's just the craze there is just big, and the talent is getting better and better.
Yeah, I mean, people. So, I feel like they've latched on to pickleball in a way. Like, I don't know, they're getting a lot better quicker, and they're implementing different like strategies we don't see in the States. Like, for instance, did you see what they were doing for like over lob defense? Some of the footwork that was going into that.
No. Okay, so what?
So if you guys have watched like paddle, whatever however it's pronounced, there's a shot that's like it's like the equivalent of a dink in pickleball, where someone lobs you go back and you just try to hit it soft so it bounces off the wall slow. But the main thing you do is you try to get behind that ball. So you really go back quick, so the ball's in front of you, so you can try to slice or do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I was seeing a lot of those Asia players.
Wow.
I'm guessing I don't know if it's paddle or if it's also like badminton.
Okay.
But they were doing a really good job of getting behind the ball, and they were jumping. Like, they were, instead of like they do in the States, like some of us, right? We'll go back and then we'll just try to get it deep.
Yeah.
These guys were like getting some serious airtime.
Okay.
And they were like actually like getting a lot of pace on it.
They're smoking it.
Yes.
Okay, so they're not hitting a pedal.
No.
Okay.
No. They're like the same, like footwork's the same, not the same shot. But they're putting a lot of pace on it, which I haven't seen before personally. Like,
well, that might be a badminton thing. But I don't know, man. Those Asians, obviously, like, they're shorter, so they gotta jump, and they're really quick, dude. Yeah, they're really quick, and I think I don't know. That's just an overhead thing. That's good catch there. But I just wanted to kind of quickly talk about game is growing in Asia. I've even heard, comment below if you know about this, but I've even heard that there's more players already playing in Asia than the United States. Really? I mean, because the population is so big already. Yeah. But it's growing massive. My parents actually just came back. They were retired, so they're kind of traveling, but they just went to Malaysia, Vietnam, all that stuff, and they're kind of seeing, and they were telling me about it. So it's been crazy. But this past Vietnam Cup, Ben Johns and a couple other pros we'll talk about made it out there, like Zane, out to Asia to play PPA Asia against some of the top players there, and that was good to see. And and I just want to talk about like the gold medal match here. This is the last one. This is the one that we were talking about. Obviously, big upset here in the semis where, let's see here.
I saw the bronze medal match scoreline.
Yeah. Well, big upset here where we saw, here we go. Yeah. It was Zane and Armand. Batia beat Ben and Dekel Bar. I know Dekel Bar was coming back from an injury, but again, either way, they played awesome, dude. It was electrifying in there. And then Tyson and Eric on scenes, they just won the previous PPA Asia, and they ended up winning it again. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on that. But even if you look at this bronze medal match, I don't even know these players. I don't follow them too closely. I'm assuming they're from India, but I mean, really playing Dekel and Ben really tight. And then Tyson McGuffin and Eric on scenes get it done in 3.
Yeah, I will say, going back to the bronze, I do know Harsh, and I think he and Armand were partners on the APP for a bit.
Okay.
They both I'd say Armand more so, have really hard serves and returns.
Yeah.
And they really like they go for it. Which especially were they playing on Pickleball? Was it?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I probably, yeah.
Because that definitely gets a lot more, good bounces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, gosh, Tyson and Eric, they're on a tear in Asia right now. They were looking a little untouchable in some aspects.
Yeah, man. One of the things that I wanted to bring up is just strategy-wise. Man, Eric on scenes, we've known that he's been a great player, but he's really, man, I just think that he's gotten so good on that left side, knowing patterns, applying pressure. And Tyson, man, one of the OGs in pickleball. I think I started around the same time, around very close. Yeah, very closely to Tyson. So me and him go back pretty far. But
did you beat him ever?
No. I played him more single, like a lot of singles against him. I've only played him doubles once, but no, Tyson's great. And one of the things that Caden and I talk about actually in a lot of pods is the two-handed backhand, right? And how important it is, and et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, you look at one of the very, very few players that don't have a two-handed backhand in today's game is Tyson McGuffin. And I would like to get your thoughts on this, Elliott. But Tyson has the things that make him. These are the top 3 things that make him the player who he is, in my eyes as a coach. Number 1, super consistent, just all shots.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what you have, that's always going to take you far. And experience is in there, but super consistent. Number 2 is going to be defense and transition, just transition game.
100%.
I mean, he does not break down. If he needs to get to his transition and defense, just digging balls out is key. And then 3 is going to be his counterattacking. When you play on the right side, you don't really need a ton of offense with your backhand as a right-handed player. So I do think if Tyson was playing left side, it would be a totally different story. And with the two-handed backhand, this is why we're seeing basically any player that is a top tier player in PPA and they play on the left, you got to have a two-handed backhand or else you're going to be left out. But in this case,
no pun intended.
Yeah, there you go. But in this case, Tyson, those are the 3 things that, I mean, he does super well. Kind of like a Matt Wright when he plays on the right side. But I don't know. Any thoughts on that analysis, Elliott, and just, I don't know. Go ahead, man.
I think you're spot on. I feel like this team is a perfect example of each player playing their role almost perfectly. Yeah. Like Tyson he's a grinder, right? Like you were saying, he's super consistent, doesn't really miss balls.
Yep.
His job is to keep the point going and give Eric a chance to put it away because Eric is so good at just offense, right? Yeah. He's really good at flicking out of the air.
Yep.
And he's got good hands.
Yep.
What's crazy about Eric is he sits so heavy, but he guesses right a lot. So you almost don't want to speed up at him because you get this full swing.
It takes full swing.
Yeah. I think that's that they just play their role so well. And also with Tyson on the right, the two-handed backhand doesn't matter for him because now he's dinking with the forehand instead of having to dink with the backhand.
Yeah.
And so it almost takes that, I wouldn't call it a weakness, but it almost takes that
shot.
It takes the
shot out.
It takes the shot out of the picture.
Yeah, dude.
Now it's almost giving it to his strength.
So there you go, folks. If you are predominantly a right side player, maybe you may not need a two-hander. Okay, but you know what? We still encourage it. If you ever are going to play on the left, though, and if you want to create more, two-handed backhand is really important. But I guess here's a little counter argument here on that. A right side player, what right side player can you think about that actually has a two-y that uses it really well?
Are you talking about lefties or righties?
Righties. So the first one comes to mind. Comment below before you could pause the video, but is Hayden Patrickman as a right side player. He has one of the best flicks in the game out of the air offense, but also he uses his two-y in the middle a lot, actually.
Yes.
And he creates a lot of offense. Obviously, he's leaning in when he can, but he's also applying offense off the bounce. So it's good to have both. That's why we teach it a lot and we encourage it. But again, it's not totally necessary in every instance, as you can see. So shout out to Eric. Shout out to Tyson. Again, that stadium, what Zane was talking about, bigger than anything we've had here in the States. I think it was like around 6,000 people.
It looked electric too. Like they were all engaged as well. Like that looked like one of the most fun championship courts. Yeah, I've seen in a while.
Yeah, man. So that's PPA Asia. We'll be probably following that a lot. But yeah, comment below if you like that segment or if you want us to talk about what's going on in PPA more. But yeah, Elliott, any last thoughts or anything you want to say before you see everybody again?
Do more wall drills.
There we go. Yeah. Maybe we'll come out. You know what? Well, we may come out with another wall drill video. That might be good.
Wall drill V2.
Yeah, version 2. Super important. Hands. Man, especially the higher. The higher level you go, hands are very important in 3.0 and 3.5. But the higher level you go, man, hands are very important counters. So a really important part of the game. But yeah, everyone, appreciate the time. Elliott, thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Where can they find you as they're following you on your pickleball journey?
Thanks, Jordan. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube. Okay. Elliott Shot Pickleball is the handle.
Okay.
So yeah, give me a follow. I'll be posting more videos with like wall drills and training and all the stuff I'm doing.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.